What if I told you the people in power don't lose sleep over you? Not because they're evil, but because they were trained not to. See, at the highest levels of government, there's a doctrine so old, so deeply embedded in the architecture of political power that most leaders don't even realize they follow it. It goes like this: a calm population is a controllable population, and the fastest way to keep a population calm is to make sure they're always just scared enough, but never scared of the right things. Today, I'm going to show you the psychological machinery that runs every government on Earth, the part they don't teach in school, the part no politician will say out loud, and more importantly, I'm going to show you how to see through it. There's a concept in political psychology called threat displacement. It's simple, terrifyingly simple. When a society starts asking dangerous questions, questions about wealth, about inequality, about who actually benefits from the way things are, power does not answer those questions. It redirects them. It points you toward a border, toward another country, toward a cultural enemy, toward a crisis just large enough to fill your entire attention span. This isn't conspiracy. This is documented political psychology. Robert Cialdini, one of the world's leading researchers on influence, identified this as the distraction principle. The moment attention becomes a resource, controlling attention becomes power. And the most powerful people on Earth understand this better than anyone. Here's where it gets darker. At the very top of the global power structure, there exists a layer most citizens never see. Not politicians. Politicians are visible by design. I'm talking about the layer behind them, the ones who don't run for office because they don't need to, because they fund the office, because they write the legislation before the legislators ever see it. Because wars, real wars with real casualties, are sometimes cheaper for them than accountability. Let that sink in. A military conflict can cost millions of lives, but it can also bury a story, collapse a news cycle, redirect international attention, trigger emergency powers that suspend the very legal frameworks that we're closing in. This is not theoretical. History has shown us repeatedly that the timing of geopolitical escalations often aligns suspiciously with domestic scandals, elite legal exposure, or financial crimes reaching critical mass. The citizen pays in blood, the powerful pay nothing, and the world moves on. You've felt this. Maybe you couldn't name it, but you've felt it. That moment where you're watching the news and something shifts too fast. A new crisis emerges, a new enemy is named, a new fear is handed to you, pre-packaged, ready to consume. And somehow, that thing you were worried about last week, that real thing close to home, quietly disappears from the headlines. You're not paranoid. You're noticing. And there's a reason noticing feels dangerous, because you were trained to associate pattern recognition with conspiracy, to self-censor the moment your instincts start telling the truth. That self-censorship, that is the most sophisticated psychological control system ever built. It doesn't need guards. It doesn't need walls. It just needs you to doubt yourself. So how do you break free from it? Here's what dark psychology actually teaches us about reclaiming your own mind. Lesson 1. Follow the silence, not the noise. Power is loud about what it wants you to watch. It is silent about what it wants you to ignore.
Train yourself to ask, what story disappeared today? What questions stopped being asked? Lesson 2. Understand the hierarchy of distraction. Not every distraction is equal. Small distractions, celebrity drama, culture war debates, manage day-to-day public attention. Large distractions, international tensions, manufactured crises are deployed to suppress systemic accountability. The bigger the global event, the bigger the story it may be covering. Lesson 3. The ultra-wealthy are not above nations, they move between them. No single government can hold someone accountable if that person holds assets, citizenship, and influence across a dozen jurisdictions. This is not wealth, this is legal invisibility by design, and the laws that enable it were written with their input. Lesson 4. Your outrage is a resource they harvest. Every time you are outraged at who they point at the enemy, at the other side, at the scapegoat, that energy is consumed and produces nothing. Real power doesn't fear your anger, it needs it. Directed anger is managed anger. The only thing power cannot manage is organized, informed indifference to its distractions. Lesson 5. The antidote to manipulation is not cynicism, it's calibration. Don't stop trusting everyone, start asking better questions. Who benefits? Who is silent? What law is quietly passing while the cameras face the other direction? Calibrate your attention like a weapon, because in the information age, it is one.
Here's the cruel part they don't want you to know. The system doesn't hate you. It just doesn't need you to understand it. A confused citizen is a predictable citizen. A distracted citizen is a harmless citizen. A citizen who never connects the dots is the most valuable asset any power structure has ever owned. But you're watching this video, which means something in you already knew the dots were there. So now the question isn't whether the game is rigged. The question is, are you going to keep playing by rules you didn't write? Think about it. And if this opens something in your mind, share it with someone whose mind needs opening too.